Hello, my name is Lance Cummings, and I'm going to talk to you a little about designing crap. Now that might sound a bit strange, but it'll make sense in a second. This Prezi is adapted from a public Prezi by Abby Bischoff. And the crap principles, as described by Robin Williams, can be found in his book, The Non-Designer's Design Book. But by crap, what we mean is the acronym CRAP. When analyzing or composing visual design, whether it be documents, signs, or websites, it is useful to have some common vocabulary to help describe what we see. Oftentimes, we sense good and bad design intuitively, but we can't always articulate what we see. The four terms I'll be sharing with you spell the word crap: contrast, repetition, alignment, and proximity. Of course, there are more ways of describing visual design, but I think you'll find these very useful. Let's talk about contrast first. Contrast is how we make elements stand out. If everything looks the same, your audience, reader, or user won't know what to look at. There are many ways to create contrast, but today I'm just going to talk about font. For example, using large type with small type. And if you're using different sizes, you should use very different sizes. Or you can also use the caps lock. Or you could use different styles like bold and italics. Or even different kinds of fonts. When analyzing design elements or when designing your own project, think about how font is being used. Too often we forget all the ways fonts can be used. But one thing to remember is there is such a thing as bad contrast. For example, here there is too much contrast. It's distracting. Or here it just looks cluttered. All right, the next thing I want to talk about is repetition. This is obviously a very simple term, but it can have a powerful effect. If you can repeat different elements in your design, all the other elements will hang together better and give your project consistency, helping your audience, reader, or user to navigate and make sense of your material. In this sign, the clowns lend strength to the words about a coming circus, obviously an important part of this sign's purpose. Next, of course, is alignment, which is another way of giving visual connection to a project. All elements generally should be invisibly connected with each other, unless of course there is a reason to do otherwise. This is why most design software shows you these invisible lines when you are moving things around. PowerPoint slides are good examples. This one is well aligned. But nothing seems connected in this version. Sometimes we default to centering everything, which can be boring and uninteresting. Try using different alignments when designing projects, or when analyzing other projects, take note how alignment is used or not used. I'm sure you've seen this layout a bazillion times. Now, doesn't this one stand out though? Last but not least is the P in crap. Proximity simply means organizing elements into logical units that help convey information to your reader. Wow, what am I supposed to look at here? What information am I supposed to glean from this? Ah, now I see. All the event information is together now. so the audience knows exactly how to attend the event. There we are. We spelled our word crap. But now I would just like to give you a few more tips, particularly for when you're designing your own projects. First of all, white space can be your friend. Think of all the Apple products and how they've designed their advertisements with lots of white space. It can add power to your design. Don't use more than 2 different fonts that can make your project seem cluttered or chaotic. And although borders can be useful and cool, don't use too many of them. They can be overpowering and put your design project in a prison. And please do not put a full paragraph of information on a poster or on a PowerPoint slide or even on a website. Who wants to read all that? And again, don't be afraid to design something with plenty of unutilized space. And remember, one piece of clip art or photo can get the point across. You don't need to add lots of different pieces of art. And please don't overuse the exclamation point or the caps lock or even the bold. No one likes to be yelled at. Now, as you can see, this example poster breaks most of the rules. There's many different colors, there's many different pieces of art, everything's centered, there's lots of different fonts. I have a hard time seeing the information that they want to convey to me. What other rules do you see broken here? Now this one looks much better. There's repetition with the color yellow. All the event information is gathered together at the bottom. And there's a nice use of contrast with the 2 fonts at the top side of the page. What other good design principles do you see here? So let's recap. The acronym CRAP provides a simple vocabulary that can help us as we analyze or compose visual projects. See if you can't apply these in your own work. You might even take a moment right now to surf the web for good and bad examples of each of these principles. I hope you found this brief presentation useful to your own projects.